A warm good evening to one and all. Welcome to the 176th session of Centa's webinar series for teachers. I hope all of you are keeping safe and staying healthy. The topic for today's webinar is financial literacy, an important life skill. And the facilitator for the session is Ms. Supriya Rathi. Ms. Supriya, hailing from Pune, is a finance enthusiast and an ex-ICICI banker. She has completed her CA final, postgraduate diploma in banking operations, MCOM, DTL, and holds the Certified Financial Planner credential. Since 2016, she has been conducting various programs on financial literacy across schools and colleges. Supriya ma'am is also the founder of Finomatics. Welcome, ma'am. Before I hand over the session to the facilitator, I would like to inform all teachers that they will receive participation certificate for the session. So please do fill out the feedback form that will be shared with you towards the end of the session. Over to Supriya ma'am.
Thank you, Team Center, for introducing such a warm introduction and introducing me to the teachers and mentors out here. And I would really like to thank to give me the opportunity. And without any further delay, I just want to share my expertise and knowledge to the teachers and mentors so they uh, take most use of it and teach it to the students. So here is my presentation. So change is the law of nature. So is my voice audible? Shall I start? So change is a law of nature, and new education policy 2020 is uh, you can say a statement which supports this change is a law of nature. And earlier we had very less choices. The words which were not used, like social distancing, face mask, work from home, online trainings, knowledge sessions, but all today are new normal. And by this session today, we have to understand why there was a need of new education policy by 2020 in India, and launch is in the launching phase. But because today's generation has much more choices and as well as options, and financial literacy is one of the top five skills which new education policy thinks that an individual should possess after self-management, emotional quotient, intelligent quotient, and before financial quotient, one an individual should possess. So this importance of financial literacy is uh, is added to the subject in the school, in the academics, and before new education policy, it is still it has been already launched in CBSE schools. So just like languages, like English or regional language, Hindi or foreign languages, mathematics is being taught, science, social sciences, information technology, robotics and codings. And today in CBSE, few CBSE schools, financial literacy is also being taught. So to for this financial literacy to be taught in more and more schools, so this session has been conducted by Team Center, and I would like to present what is financial literacy. Financial literacy represents understanding important financial concepts that enable someone to practice smart money management skills. So this is basic definition of financial literacy. But as we go further, as per Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, they have defined financial literacy as a combination of awareness, knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior to make necessary sound financial decisions and ultimately achieve individuals' financial well-being. So, in whatever life we become, a doctor, an engineer, but we would be handling our money. So, uh, for economic growth of any country, financial well-being of an individual citizen of that country is very, very important. So, so who can we tell is a financial literate? a person regarded as financial literate if he or she has a combined score of 15 out of 22 questions which OCED have framed, and minimum they should score 3 in financial attitude, 6 in financial behavior, and 6 in financial knowledge. If they score 15 out of this 22, they would be a finance termed as financial literate. So, as there was a survey conducted by National Financial Literacy and Inclusion Survey, which is conducted by NCFE, that is National Center of Financial Education, and in line with the guidelines of OECD, that is, out of that, the survey results came out that out of the total respondent, only 27% of the respondent in India, this is the metropolitan cities data which is being collected, and in that also it is shocking that 27% of the respondents have cleared the minimum threshold of gaining 15 out of 22 in financial literacy, that is which is the combination of financial knowledge 6, financial attitude 3, and financial behavior 6. So this was the percentage, and if we see region wise, uh, East is the least, we can say, with 20% of financial literacy. Next is the central part of India, which is 29%, and gradually moving to the south, it is 30% of financial literacy, and north, it is 32%. Northeast, we can say it was 33%, and west was the highest. As we know, Mumbai, the financial hub, is in the west, so it is 37%. But overall, India's financial literacy percentage is only 27%. So, what shall we do to increase this percentage? We have there was a further survey, and it was seen that from the age of uh, 70 years and more, only 23% were financial literate. Whereas 50 to 69 age wise, it was 24.50%, and 30 to 49 age is 27%, and 18 to 20 years of age, there was 30% who were financial literate. So this was the overall, we can say, 27% came out from the overall survey that India has 27% only in financial literacy. So here, as we come to the next slide, what is financial literacy? Why it is a skill. As an individual, we must learn the skill for maximizing money earned by us. So, because net of inflation, our savings get a major hit because of inflation, taxes, and even when interest rates are falling. So it is just that everyone needs a driver's license to drive on the road for safety for themselves and others. So it is, we are just comparing it to driving a having a driving license when we are driving on road. But it is not necessary that a driver should have a license. But if you have it in the tough situation, there are likely to be likely less consequences to happen. So similarly, everyone should have basic financial literacy before becoming an adult. This major focus was set up in National Education Policy 2020 also, and being responsible for their own finances. If they don't, they are really likely to face costly consequences at the same point. This makes us move to the next slide, and here, as you can see, financial literate and defraud people. So those who are financial literate, the necessary skills and understanding to apply basic financial concepts and their lives. Financial literacy includes knowledge of necessary skills like budgeting and paying off debts. It also includes more advanced financial concepts like investing, utilizing compound interest, and implementing long-term financial planning strategies. Individuals who are financially literate have the resources to make responsible, educated decisions about their money and set themselves up for more secure future. With the majority of Indian families living hand to mouth, financial education and literacy are more essential now. And as the technology advancement is at boom, all thanks to because of JAM. What is JAM? You must be wondering why I'm thanking to JAM because of Jandhan, Aadhaar, and mobile. So JAM is the new word which have boomed the technology, and you can see the penetration of bank accounts moving from cities to villages and very very remote places. Aadhaar, everyone is connected through Aadhaar, and there is now the government is launching the digital e-rupee, already launched on 1st of December, and it would be more and more uh, important that the person become financially literate, because fraudsters may find it new ways to fraud up people, but if the person is financially literate, this very problem can be minimized or at the even eradicated. So thus the foundation of this knowledge even requires so thus the foundation of this knowledge requires understanding how effectively earn, save, invest, protect, spend, and borrow money to apply five principles and develop attitude of continuous learning. As a teacher and mentor, we have to understand that financial literacy isn't only important for those who have lot of money to manage. On the contrary, it is perhaps even more critical for those with less money to manage, because those individuals also have little money to spare. And in a country where most of the people live pay to pay check, this household could benefit most from the financial education. So as financial literate person, you're better able to make plan of your own money, reduce the amount of debt you have, save up for the emergency, and put away funds for comfortable retirement. Financial decisions in life are required irrespective of the profession and career we choose. Every part of life, whether we have to buy a house or stay on rent, whether we have to buy a bike or a car from a saving or a bank loan, purchasing it from a bank loan, advantages and disadvantages of credit and debit cards, how to save lakhs on buying an insurance and health policies, as we can see number of ads running on the TVs for buying a health insurance and how they can save lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So governments have also taken measurements, and the advertisement is playing an important role, saying that mutual fund sahi hai and all these things. So last is the protect the value of money by inflation and falling interest rate. This is the major principle where the continuous learning goes, and where to invest your hard-earned money for better rate of return, whether it is bank, whether it is post office, shares, gold, property, etc., etc. So now, as we can see, these five principles are the vicious circle. We can say that it comes, every stage comes after another. The time value of money. Next is the compounding principle, which plays an important role in financial literacy. The asset allocation and diversification, risk return equation, protection of health, life, property through insurance. So these are the five foundations where a financial literacy can be attained. So time value of money means money, if it is not invested today, will lose its value over a time. If given a choice for teachers or even to any individual that you would get 1 lakh rupees today or 1 lakh rupees after 1 year, definite choice would be today, because today you want the purchasing power. The money you get after 1 year is of no use or less use, which you would do it for today. So time value of money is the first step which we have to uh, see. The second step is compounding principle, which says that number of year invested has bigger impact than the amount invested. So, as Albert Einstein says that compounding is the eighth wonder of world. Who those who understand, they earn it, and those who doesn't, they pay for it. So here, compounding principle says that if we think for a long term, the compounding principle works in our favor rather than a big amount being invested even for short term. The next step, step three, is the asset allocation and diversification. With the proverb that do not put all the eggs in one basket. This famous proverb is said by Warren Buffett, means do not put all your savings into one asset class. Diversify it into different segments, like it might be gold, it might be FD, it might be equities, it might be mutual funds, it might be real estate. So next, we moving to the next step of foundation, that is risk and return equation. Higher the return, higher is the risk. So we have to take an informed decision. There is no concept like fast money or easy money. We have to understand risk in that and what would be the return for that risk being taken. Seek information on the risk involved wherever high return is offered. Why anyone would be offering a high return? So there should be a concrete plan. And this plan could be well understood if we are financially literate. And the last one is protection of life, health, and property through insurance. Insurance is not an investment. Investment and insurance are two different concepts. So insurance is a means of only protection from our financial losses and should be used to the shield against the risk of the contingent and uncertain losses. So as we make our foundation strong, so would be the building or the statue. So here, if we know this change is going to happen in the society and in the teaching field, and financial literacy would be introduced at a largest sector or largest society, why not we build a path for this change? And I must say that who better than teachers can build this path for the new generation to come upon? So I just want to introduce for teachers here how we can introduce in this classes for various grades this topic. So I've just made, we have just designed the curriculum. We can design yourself also how this topic could be taught to students like grade wise. If we see in history, we can from grade 6 to grade 10th, there is a distribution of topics which can be taught with the help of the subject teacher, with no other teacher involving or no other faculty being introduced to the school. Only the subject teacher can introduce this financial literacy. So here we have distributed in history, we can introduce for sixth standard, so here barter system, evolution of money, whereas in seventh standard we can add it needs and sources of borrowing. Eighth, in history we can say that how we can introduce to the students regarding insurance and types. Regarding ninth, it could be topic like financial sector reforms and insurance, various financial sectors, that is RBI, SEBIs, PFRDA, IRDA. There are various financial sectoral reforms can be introduced in history and insurance. The 10th standard, how the evolution of e-commerce is being taking place, and later on in the subject in civics or political science, we can introduce grade wise that what are the needs and wants, what is bills, why are bills and cash memos important for doing the transactions, and making it more and more practical, applicable rather than theoretical way. So seventh, we can explain how roles and functions of RBI happen and how the smallest repo rate change is affecting our daily livings or affecting our pockets of our parents. Types of banks and check could be introduced. Taxes could be introduced to the eighth grade student in civics and political science. We can introduce to ninth standard about PAN card, Aadhaar card, debit card, credit card uses, and how we can be precautionate about various frauds by utilizing them with the proper way. 10th standard, we can definitely move to the higher segment, that is economic depression, investing in shares, and so on. Next, we can also see that in geography and economics, if we move with the grade wise same, trade, benefits of trade, how trade used to happen before, and what were the benefits of trade in the economy and in the country as a whole, and how it affects the GDP. Seventh is the type of bank accounts. Eighth, we can introduce with the DD, PO, e-banking or mobile banking system. And ninth, we can move on to budgeting, how one can have a plan his or own personal budget, inflation, bank and loans. 10th, in geography, in economics, stock exchanges and economy, we can introduce it to 10th standard. In maths, maths teacher can introduce in their subject curriculum like taxation or nurturing, how we can nurture a money plant so that the savings grow into investments and they can fulfill their small financial goals. And seventh standard, concept like simple interest, compound interest could be introduced. Present value of money, future value of money can be introduced. Eighth, like filling up the deposit and withdrawal slip. Right now, we are moving ahead with the technology with e-money, so that can also be introduced. Insurance calculation, how human life value is being calculated, and in the 10th standard we can even start with the trading and demat account. This 10th standard trading and demat account, I just want to introduce. A CBSE school have tie up with NSE, that is National Stock Exchange, and they have organized a special software which is being introduced to students, wherein they do practical trading, and at 11th and 12th grade of CBSE, they are given with virtual money of 5 lakh rupees, and trading is being taught on the real time basis for them. So trading and demat account could also be taught to 10th standard. So next, the English teacher uh, or the language teacher could tell stories with having money lessons involving consumer protection, how to open a bank account, risk and disaster management to ninth standard, and how um, uh, we can use or this risk can be bifurcated through insurance, and in 10th standard regarding various new schemes of government like NPS, GST, and how this ITR or income tax filing is being taken place. So this is the major go from here, where teachers could from day one could introduce in their classes, all subject teachers could have the little contribution in promoting financial literacy. So the new education policy and skills 2020 is really a game changer in education, and they have made no distinction between academics and vocational subjects. So there are multiple entry and exit which is being allowed in graduation also, and the skills which is subject. I'll just move in the further slides, explain you about more. The skill subject is added from class 6 onwards, and financial literacy is one of the skill subject, and and it is made every school pass out must have at least one skill subject on their result. So there is no loss of academic year in class 10 if CBSE, this is for specifically for CBSE, as they have introduced in their academics also the skill subject. So it is a CBSE initiative for skill subject, and this is the very circular which was in 2014, which says that skill subject is being introduced, and in that uh, financial literacy was introduced from grade 6 to grade 12. You can find it on the CBSE website also. All the curriculum and subject books are available in this regard. At secondary level, a skill subject may be offered as an additional six subject along with the existing five compulsory subjects. If any student fail in any one of the three elective subjects, that is science, mathematics, and social science, then it would be replaced with the skill subject. So this it is a win-win situation for the student also. The skill subject which is being added by CBSE schools, it is not at all just an extracurricular activity, but it is also playing an important part in their academics. So it is offered as the sixth subject, and the result of class 10th will be computed on best of 5. So if the student could not pass in science, mathematics, and social science, either of this subject which he or she have failed in could be replaced by the skill subject. And however, if a candidate desires to reappear in the failed subject, he or she may appear along with the compartment examination. So this is the very, very basic incentive for the skill education for CBSE schools, which have been introduced in at the secondary level. So the framework goes in this way. Subject 1 would be language. Subject 2 would be again language. It might be a regional language or a foreign language. Uh, the subject 3 would be science. Subject 4, mathematics. Subject 5 would be social science. An optional subject is the skill subject, and in this skill subject, financial literacy is one of the choice. In ninth and 10th, you can also find this subject as 405 financial market management, and there is a proper circular regarding the CBSE school, and the subject 345 would be replaced by the skill subject if the student fails in any of this, and their academic year would also be at no loss. So is this so what are the benefits to the teachers? So by introducing the skill subject financial literacy, so here teacher gets an additional subject expertise which no other teacher would have. So teachers would get the upper hand who has knowledge of the skill subject to have better job preferences. Third, would be able to handle your own personal finances. That is, uh, at least nothing less you would be benefiting if you have knowledge of this subject. You would be able to handle your own personal finance. Fourth is the opportunity. You can be a coordinator in investor awareness program of financial regulators. So there are various investor awareness programs which are conducted by financial regulators like RBI, Security Exchange Board of India, IRDAI, for the common public, wherein if you are financial literate and if you are teachers, you could be coordinators at that in their initiative and spread awareness uh, among the investor awareness program. So you could be also one of the faculty as a teacher. Next and the last one, you would be financial literate, and you have the opportunity to make the students financial literate. So this was my knowledge which I wanted to share with you. So if you have any questions regarding, please let me know so that we can discuss and answer your questions. And if you want to check your financial quotient, do contact me on my number which is presented on the screen. So Priyanka ma'am, if participants are ready to ask the question, I would like to answer their questions.
Yes, definitely. Participants, if you have, yeah. If you have any questions, please put them on the chat box. We'll just wait for the questions, ma'am.
Fine.
Yeah.
I would just
Any
urge
question?
all
Yeah.
the teachers.
Yes. Yes. Ma'am, because we still have time, you can probably also share about the different features of um, financial management.
Yes, sure, sure. So in this topic, we can also take students to visit banks, visit RBI's, various offices, financial offices, and give. Um, is there any question, ma'am, in between? Just
Yes. So, Anubha ma'am has asked how to become the coordinator in investment programs of financial regulators.
ma'am, you have to just see. There are various openings being posted by financial regulators, and you can approach me also so that I can guide you for the same, and you could become the coordinator for the same. So,
Yes. Yeah. So we have Pushpa ma'am who is asking, is there any link to participate in the financial quotient?
you can just contact me. I'll send you the financial quotient. And there are also, I just want to add a very good question. In this financial quotient, not only for teachers, there are various financial olympiads which are being conducted by the financial regulators for students. Students could participate, and the rewards and the are in cash prizes, wherein the certificates are being promoted by the financial regulators RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, and IRDA. So students can also participate in the financial quotient Olympiad and increase their financial quotient. So for more details, you can just contact me on the numbers so I can explain you if teacher wants to check their financial quotient and
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So there is another question regarding, how the concept of financial literacy can be taught to primary kids, how this can be introduced in the primary grades as well.
For primary grade children, it is already the syllabus have been there by small how to exchange money, about fractions is being taught. So we can take them to a field tour to any nearest bank. We can show them how this financial and children are more smarter and more quick learners than anyone else. But the only thing it has not been introduced to the primary kids, so that parents hesitate, so that child doesn't become money minded and things like that. So it is not been introduced at that level. But definitely in maths, the curriculum has how to exchange notes, multiplication, division, subtraction, or addition. We can definitely teach that way.
Mercy ma'am is asking, can children be taught to help in financial management through small projects in the school itself?
Definitely, the the school can organize a fair where students could be an entrepreneur and sell their small things, prepare a balance sheet, how much profit they made, what were the things cost for that making, and small projects in practical way could be introduced and could be made in an interesting way. We can also take projects like various currencies of different countries. What is the current rate? Why we can explain them why dollar is the supreme of all the currencies, and let them only give the answers for such questions. So that would perhaps be more interesting. Even teachers would come to know new things, because uh, children would bring up more innovative things while doing this project. Yes, definitely.
Right. Sangeeta ma'am is asking which degrees would help us become trained financial literacy teachers?
So there is the best part is there is no degree. Only for this, you need not be from a commerce stream. Also, only thing you should have the proper training for. There are four. There are majorly nine things, that is borrowings, investment avenues, savings, budgeting. This training should be. There are various training sessions which are organized by CBSE. Uh, CBSE
Wow.
also for this teacher to be a financial literate teacher. And other than that, if you could contact me, I can just help you out to how to get more and more knowledge about financial literacy and how you could implement in your schools.
Um, Vinita Joseph asks, how is it possible to be a teacher as well as a financial coordinator?
There is no means, if you have knowledge, and you can definitely be a financial coordinator. Only thing you can also check the website of National Center of Financial Education, where what are the criterias you need to fulfill to be a financial coordinator, and there you can be a financial coordinator. Right? Is
There's
this
someone
answers
who's
your question? Is this
okay.
answers your question?
Yes, we'll just wait for a reply in the comments. Meanwhile, yes, there's someone who's asking if there is any specific syllabus for students of different grades.
Yes, as I said, CBSE have already made the syllabus and curriculum has been designed. It is in 2014 only everything was designed. Only few schools have introduced, because uh, the financial literate faculty is not available. But to fill in the gap, it is the subject teachers could take the various responsibilities and it could be introduced. So instead of hiring one expert, subject teachers could be expert in their domain, as I've already shared with you how it could be taught. And the syllabus is already there, and the curriculum, in the curriculum you can see grade wise it has been added. And to introduce it in more practical way, I have been taking it in two schools in Maharashtra, and conducting olympiads. You can also get in touch with me and let me know if you are interested in. Let me.
Yes. Ma'am, someone is asking if you can repeat the name of the institution from which they can, like, which they can approach to become trained in, like,
Yeah, it
financial
is
literacy. Yeah.
yeah, it is National Center of Financial Education, that is NCFE.
Yes. Any more questions? If you have any more questions, please put it on the chat box. Meanwhile, I can see a lot of people saying that the session was informative and was well explained. So, thank you, Supriya ma'am. Again, I can see a few questions on, any activities for primary school children or suggest some activities for English as well, like in English classes. So, if you have any
There are many
ideas.
stories. Yeah, many stories we can put along. There are so we can put bring up like uh, as in the moral. We can understand. Even if I say the small story of ant and the grasshopper, we learn financial lessons from that. That is the savings, right? Importance of savings in the rainy days. how the grasshopper starve for the food, and the ants enjoyed, uh, because these are the we already have this financial lessons. Only thing, we have not given it into financial literacy angle. So if we see such stories around us, there would be ample and ample of stories, and uh, we can bring interest in financial literacy at a very young age between students.
Yeah. I think even the internet is a huge resource, and you get a lot of these stories online, especially for English, where about people exchanging money and saving money and things like that. So I think that can
And how
also
tax,
be.
yes, how tax, why tax is being taken from us, why RBI small interest rate is been affecting, and what is the time value of money, how, yes, there are ample and there are very small, short and sweet stories. You can find it on internet also regarding financial literacy. If I want to name
Yeah.
one, you can also see on YouTube Warren Buffett's Millionaire Club, wherein small ideas are being there, wherein children could uh, prepare small projects, or it would be really helpful in their entrepreneurship journey also.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, there's a question on whether such Olympiads are available for teachers as well.
For teachers, Olympiads are not there. For teachers, only the financial quotient. You can increase your financial quotient, but Olympiads are only for students from grade 6 to grade 12. And if you want to enroll for Olympiads, my number is also there on the screen. So you can just contact me, and we can arrange for the Olympiads at the school level also. And the Olympiads are also already being started from November last week. And this Olympiads would be till January or February mid would be live. The only thing is, the individual students cannot enroll it. It should go, the students entry should go through schools.
Right. Okay. Um, we have someone who said that, they in their school they have integrated a project called Budding Entrepreneurs for Commerce classes, uh, an initiative towards building financial literacy. So,
Yes, so you can always take the help of the mentors who are introducing this thing. You can form a group of having common interest, and share your new inventions, which are making the subject more and more interesting. So
yeah,
you have to only find the right community to inculcate this path.
yeah. I think someone else has also said that they organized two webinars on the same topic with the help of CBSE resource people.
Right.
So, yeah. So there's someone who's asking what entrepreneurship is and how, as a teacher, they can introduce it into their classroom.
Um, it would be an extracurricular activity if you want to go for entrepreneurship. It is not part of any curriculum, and if any school wants to do such workshops and things, we can definitely connect. I can introduce you to people who conduct for such entrepreneurship workshops or webinars, wherein it would be taught to students, as well as teachers could also get the benefit from this.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's uh, most of the questions we have. Participants, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. You can also, I've pasted the link of the feedback form as well. So please make sure you fill that in order to receive a participation certificate. So we have a question, ma'am. Um, Would there be any charges for the Olympiad?
Yeah, there are charges. So if you want, so that's what, and there are very minimal charges. But at this forum, I won't be able to tell you much about the charges and things like that. You can definitely contact me, uh, and we'll get back with all the details. Ma'am, you can just
Yes.
unpresent the screen so I can see
Yeah.
the.
Yeah. Yes.
So, any questions? As if you have seen the movie Guru Bhai, at the end, what Abhishek Bachchan said that the session was of the minute for explaining his thing was given was 10 minutes, but he had completed in 7 minutes. So, this session is also like that only. The session was of 1 hour, but I have finished it early. So it is you to take how much you want to take from me now. So
Yeah.
if there is more question, so this is the magic which finance has, that it always, it is not always in terms of money. It is all, I say time is more valuable than money. So if you could take as much as knowledge from me, that would be a great thing.
Yes. Ma'am, uh there's someone asking if this can be a skill subject.
Yeah, CBSE school have already introduced as the skill subject and into
Yes.
academics.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people are thanking you for the wonderful session.
Thank you all. I hope you liked
Yes.
it, and we can come upon more and more like-minded people and share our how we have introduced and how Senta have contributed in this introduction of financial literacy in schools. Yes, thank you. I just want to thank for Team Center for giving such a wonderful platform so that I can share my expertise to the like-minded teachers and mentors out there.
Yes. I think we have come to the end of the session, and so thank you so much, ma'am, for the engaging and informative session. I think this was something new that, like some new information that was introduced to the teachers, and I see that a lot of them are interested as well, and they've asked all sorts of questions on how they can get started on the whole financial literacy curriculum, right?
Right.
So I would before yeah, so I'm sure that teachers have a lot of takeaways, and thank you so much to all the participants who participated and actively engaged in the session for asking such great questions. To register for more such webinars, please visit my center, and please make sure that you fill the feedback form to get a participation certificate. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.